Proji, can you hear me now?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, is this better? I just adjusted the other computer.
This is better, yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, my background and all is changed, but I can't do anything on my phone. I can rarely see. So thank you so much, everyone, and welcome to the forum. Thank you, Simeshwar Prabhu, for engaging me. Today we're talking on chapter 31, which is the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. And so we'll get started. We'll first start with the prayers. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Okay, so I think you can all hear me well. So we'll get started. Okay. So today's chapter is it's very technical, it's a lot of philosophy in there. So I'm going to talk about few stories that will, make it more interactive. That way we can learn the subject matter better. So yesterday we heard from Devakinandan Prabhu. He spoke about the starting portion of this chapter, and I'm taking the second section of this chapter. So first I want to start off by telling the stories of the gopis. So this story is, and everyone can hear me okay, right? Prabhu, please let me know if you cannot hear me and I'll switch to my computer.
Yes, we can hear you better, much better.
Perfect. Thank you, Mataji. So the stories of the gopis is this. So one time Krishna is in Dwarka, and what happens in Dwarka is Krishna is, his head is hurting very badly. So they cannot find a solution to it. So they call all of the vaidyas, the doctors, everyone come, and they basically are trying to figure out how they can, make the headache go away. But there's no solution. So finally they come back to Krishna again and they say, Krishna, we're not able to figure out, like, how is your headache going to go away? We're trying to do so many remedies, but it's not working. So then what Krishna gives them a solution is, give me the dust of the lotus feet of my devotees, and my headache will go away. So then all of the Vaidyas, they go to, they go to Naradji, because is a very prominent devotee. And Naradji says, no, you cannot take the dust from my feet, because it's a sin to put that dust on Krishna's head. I will go to hell. I cannot do that. And they go to a lot of devotees, but none of the queens of Dwarka are ready to give that dust. They say, no, it's an offense, it's a sin, I cannot do it. So then what happens is that they keep on trying to, find a devotee, and nobody's ready to give them the dust. So they finally go back to Krishna and they say, Krishna, but none of the devotees are ready to give you the dust. So then what do we do? So then he says, go to Vrindavan. And in Vrindavan, I have my friends, gopis, and they will be very happy to give you the dust of their feet. So that being said, then the Vaidyas, they go there, and sure enough, as soon as they go there, the gopis go, here you go, take the dust from my feet, right? So they take the dust from the feet, and they, if actually, they say that, take my dust, if that's going to take away the headache of my beloved, please take it. So they take that dust and they come back to Krishna. And when they come back to Krishna, sure enough, they put the dust on his head and his headache goes away. So, what we understand from this is the gopis are first-class devotees, right? They don't care for themselves. um, uh, and there's no comparison to the love that the gopis have for them, for Krishna, right? That is the highest devotion. They do not care for themselves. They simply want to satisfy Krishna. So we learn from this pastime that the love. It's very hard for us to reach that devotion level, because even us, right? Sometimes even we are at home and they say we are not clean and we want to even go to the altar. We are like, no, no, no. I'm not going to do that. I'll do it tomorrow, right? Something, there's a flower fallen, something like that. We say no, I'm not going to do it. It's been offense from me. So we think about us first. We don't think about Krishna so much, right? We think about how will it impact me, and that's the difference. Also today I don't have so many slides. I do have one slide because when I started preparing the slides, I was looking at it, and it was all mostly notes, and there's no point sharing the notes. But I do have one slide that I would like to share as we go along in the presentation. So there's Radharani, and the gopis are helping Radharani. And then there are Manjaris who are helping the gopis. And then there are other devotees, right, that are helping the Manjaris. And we fall way, way, way below that, right? So today's topic, like I was mentioning, is very advanced topic. So really yesterday I was thinking maybe I should call Simeshwar Prabhu and say, Simeshwar Prabhu, I don't think I can do this chapter. I read the chapter yesterday, and I was like, this is such a high level of knowledge and information that I cannot speak on this. I'm completely disqualified to speak on this. So I was thinking like that. So I attended Devkinandan Prabhu's class yesterday. And then after the class, I called him and I said, Prabhuji, what do I do? I feel so unqualified. And then, he was giving example, like how he spoke about, right? Like not really talking about the conjugal love, but by speaking about topics around it. So the same thing, today we will try to learn as much as we can, but also with an understanding that we are very unqualified to understand the subject matter. So basically, the love between Radha and Krishna, right, or the gopis and Krishna, it is in the Madhurya form. And we'll study later as we speak about all the different stages of relationship with Krishna, right? But the love, the conjugal love, is a relationship between a man and a woman, right? A lover and his beloved. And that relationship has all the other rasas included in it. A wife and a husband relationship, right? So they, or a lover relationship, they are, they are friends to each other. There is service that is done to each other. There's also parental love, right? Sometimes you are acting as a mother for your husband, or the husband is taking care. There's that motherly, fatherly love also included. So all of the rasas that are under the conjugal love or the madhurya love are included in this rasa, right? And that's why I said that I feel very unqualified to speak about this conjugal love, because we're not at that level, right? But however, the way I'm approaching this as an opportunity, right, an opportunity for hearing and chanting. And at the end, like they say, the goal is to become greedy for the love of Krishna, right? To ultimately, utilizing this opportunity to study Chaitanya Charitamrita and really get that, mercy from devotees and love for Krishna. So I really never studied Chaitanya Charitamrita in that detail, because I always thought, oh, that is so advanced. I'm not going to, you know what I mean? I'll keep it for later, for some later days of my life. But I think Krishna had that desire, and that's what I was assigned the service of, studying and reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, I take this as an opportunity, as a service, and that's how I'm presenting today. So, when I was studying about this, there are steps and there are levels, right? So the first level is a Bhagavad Gita, right? So we have Bhagavad Gita, then we have Bhagavatam, then we have Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Bhagavad Gita is more of elementary school, or like schooling, right? It is a basic knowledge that every person in the world should know. It is basically, giving you what's the purpose of life, what do you do in a certain situation? If I am angry, what do I do? How do I speak? How do I live in this world, right? So just like you would have a manual, if you get a new, so I got a juicer recently, right? And I didn't know how to use a juicer. So I had to open the manual and I had to see how all the parts fit in, what I can do with this juicer, how do I use it, how I don't use to do it. Or, we all have used microwave at some point, or we've gone any new instrument. How did we, any new appliance, how did we learn about it? by reading the user manual, right? That's what Bhagavad Gita is. Bhagavad Gita is that user guide for us to navigate this world, right? If we don't read Bhagavad Gita, then what did we do in this life? So that's very basic. And the next is Bhagavatam, right? Bhagavatam is more advanced. And then you go to Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is like a PhD level, right? So the way I look at it is there's a clear thread between all of three, right? So where does Bhagavad Gita start? It starts at 2.13, right? Krishna is saying, Dehino asmin yata dehe komaram yovanam jara. So he's saying that you're not this body, you're the soul, right? And then after, that's where it starts, that telling us you're not this body, you're the soul. And then where does it end? It ends at 18.66, right? Sarvadharman parityajya mama evam sharanam vaja. So Krishna is saying, abandon all religions and surrender unto me. So it starts by telling us that you are not this body, and then it tells at the end that just surrender everything, just go and surrender to Krishna. That's where it ends. And where does Bhagavatam start, right? Bhagavatam starts like 1.1.2, where Krishna says, rejects all the religion and get to the essence, right? And what is that essence? The essence is bhakti. So really, it starts at 1.1.2, where where we're rejecting the religions, where there's a clear linkage from Bhagavad Gita, and we're getting to the essence of bhakti. And where is Bhagavatam ending? It's ending at 12.13.23. It is saying chanting the holy names is the means to destroy all sinful reaction. So it brings us to that chanting platform, right? So by chanting, we're eliminating all of the sinful reactions. And where does Chaitanya Charitamrita start? It starts in Adi Leela, 3.20. So again, Chaitanya Charitamrita, for anyone who doesn't know, is divided into three sections. It's the whole life story of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Adi Leela is when his childhood pastimes are there, when he's still in Navadvip. And then there's Madhya Leela. And then there's Anta Leela, which is towards the end, what he does towards the tail end of his lifetime, or the visible pastime for us, right? So Chaitanya Charitamrita starts with Adi Leela, where Krishna is saying, where Krishna is saying that I will come. He said, I will come to teach the process of chanting by practicing myself, right? He says that in Adi Leela, and it ends in Anta Leela at 15.4, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has forgotten himself, right? And throughout the day and night, he's immersed in ecstatic love. He's immersed in spontaneous love for Krishna. So really, you're not this body, right? So where do we start? We start at Bhagavad Gita by telling us you're not this body. And where are we ending? We're ending by becoming that madman or that mad woman who is completely fallen in love with Krishna, who is crazy about Krishna, right? So it takes us from considering of not even knowing that, hey, I'm not this body, to becoming this crazily love with Krishna, right? So really, it is not about Krishna consciousness, or it's not about just believing, oh, I believe in Krishna. You talk to a lot of people and they will say, oh, I believe, there is this power somewhere that is controlling us, that is managing everything. I believe in Krishna, or I believe in God. And then they also say, faith in Krishna, right? Oh, I do have faith. हाँ, भरोसा है भगवान पे कि भगवान कहीं है. So really, it's not about having that faith in Krishna or belief in Krishna, but really becoming crazy for Krishna, right? And if we follow this path, if we follow this, if we are a part of Hare Krishna movement, if we are following this path, then we'll come to that stage one day. We don't know when. Bahunam Janmanam Ante. Like there are so many births, so many lives that we have, or in this life we can master and really reach that stage. I had recently, one of our friends visited us, and they came from India, and his wife, she knew that I'm too much into Krishna and all of this, and she was asking me that how is Krishna even God? He had extramarital affairs, and he did this and he did that, and I don't even know, how can people think of him as Krishna? So there are people even at that stage, right, who don't even think about Krishna as a god. And also what I've seen is, coming from Maharashtra, I was born near Pandharpur. We worship Vitthal, but a lot of people don't even know that Vitthal is Krishna. right? Because there are no Krishna temples. There are, if you go to South India, there are a lot of Krishna temples. But if you go to Maharashtra and all, there is, I don't remember going to a Krishna, like a Murlidhar Krishna, right? And Radha Krishna temple. It's not there. Maybe in North India. So people don't even know, oh, this is Vishnu is actually Krishna. Oh, Balaji is actually Krishna. They don't even know that, right? That concept is not there. So really not only having that faith or belief, but really going from becoming that, like I've been saying, becoming crazy in that love for Krishna, right? So, that is how the connection between Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. And because this is a PhD topic, it's a very complicated topic. We may not understand everything, and I'll explain later how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also very sensitive about this topic, about who we are speaking to, and what we are speaking, and like how he would tame his preaching or tame his the dialect that he was going to the audience and their level of maturity. At least I'm completely disqualified. Maybe in people in the audience or who listen this later may be qualified, but I don't see that qualification anyway. Okay, so I have to just refer to my notes at this point a little bit. Okay, so then, when we dive into this chapter, let's study about, so this conversation that is happening in chapter 31 of the talk of the teachings of Lord Chaitanya are the talks between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai. Right. This also correlates with Chaitanya Charitamrita and Madhurila, chapter 8 of Chaitanya Charitamrita, right? It's the middle section of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So let's, before we dive into this conversation between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai, let's try to understand who is Ramananda Rai, right? So Ramananda Rai, he was he basically is one of the 3.5 intimate associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, I was very curious, and what is 0.5, right? What is 0.5? So, 0.5, so first is Swarup Damodar Goswami, then you have Ramananda Rai. You also have Sikhi Mahiti Prabhu, and then his sister, and because she's a female, she's 0.5. So there were these 3.5 very intimate associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And, Ramanand Rai, he is a representation of multiple personalities, but primarily Vishakha Devi. If we know, Vishakha is the primary associate of Radharani. So he represents Vishakha Devi. He also represents, of course, we know Chaitanya Prabhu is Krishna himself. So he is also Arjuna. So Ramananda Rai is Arjuna, and of course Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna. But because Krishna is coming, he's Ramananda Rai is also Arjuna, but he's also Arjuna Gopi from the Krishna Leela, right? So it's a representation or a culmination of combination, you can say, of multiple personalities of Arjuna, Arjuna Gopi, and Vishakha. And he, basically, he's also called as the Adhikari Rasika Bhakta, right? Adhikari means he is extremely learned. He knows a lot of Shastra, and Rasika, it means he's in the top notch rasa, and Bhakta means, of course, he's a devotee. And he basically was the governor of Bengal, of West Bengal at that point.
Hare Krishna Mataji, we lost your voice now.
But he was still taking instruction.
Yeah, in the middle, we could not hear Mataji. Just I wanted to tell you.
From what time were you not able to hear me, Mataji?
You were talking about Ramananda Rai, Arjuna Gopi, and after that I lost the voice. I don't know everybody was good here or only I.
I think, I have a lot of people in my home. Everybody's using the internet. So I just told them, please don't use for some time. So I think I have no bandwidth coming. But please, thank you for alerting me, Satyabhama Mataji. You can hear me now?
Now, yeah. I can hear you, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's
Okay.
check other people can hear or not. I don't know.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes, Mataji, we can hear you now.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect.
Hare
I
Thank you
thought
so
my
much.
internet is losing. That's why I didn't tell you. I thought I have a problem.
No, I apologize. I apologize. I don't have this problem when I'm work on my work meetings, but somehow for some reason it happens on this Zoom call. Okay, so I was telling you about who is Ramananda Rai. Again, he is that topmost devotee amongst the 3.5 intimate associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was the governor of Bengal at that time, and he did not come from a Brahminical family. He came from a lower family, but however, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was from a Brahminical family, elevated. Still, he was taking instructions. And we just studied yesterday that, like I think we also mentioned that we are all from India. Most of the people are from, India and whatnot, but still we have accepted like, white gurus and whatnot. So it's really not that distinction which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu eradicates. And I will talk about that eventually, like, how he was really a revolutionary, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But so that's Ramananda Rai. Also, one more thing about Ramananda Rai, you can see in this dialect between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking him questions, right? And Ramananda Rai is giving him responses. So it feels like Ramananda Rai is giving him information, but technically it's not like that. It's compared to like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is compared to like an ocean, right? He's the ocean, and Ramananda Rai is like a cloud. So what does a cloud do? The cloud takes the water from the ocean, it fills itself up, and then it again empties it down in the ocean, right? So that's what is happening between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai. Ramananda Rai is taking all the information from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's inspiring him from inside. And that's how he's revealing the information to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And I hope you heard that he was a Rasika, Adhikari Rasika Bhakta. Adhikari means he's very learned. Rasika means he has a lot, at the highest level. And then Bhakta means he's a devotee. So we spoke about Ramananda Rai. We all know about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but what do we say about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He's a sub avatara Sara Siromani, right? What is a Sara, right? What is when we say it is a Sara, it is a essence. What are we saying? It means he's the epitome of all of the incarnations, right? He basically started, like I personally feel it is like the first civil disobedience movement, right? Like we feel Gandhiji started it, we feel Martin Luther King had the civil disobedience movement, but this was done 500 years ago by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? And so much social impact. He eradicated the caste system. Like you can see here, even if he's a Brahmana, he is still taking instructions from Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, from Ramananda Rai, right? So he's taking instructions from someone who is not a Brahmana. So he was very against the caste system, like, and I think even Prabhupada kind of emphasizes that, right? If you are not a Brahmana, a Brahmana's son is not a Brahmana, or I'm a daughter of a lawyer, but I'm not a lawyer, right? I'm an engineer. So really, it's on your qualities and what you've learned in life, right? That's what um, uh, your orientation is. It's not that I was born in a Kshatriya family. I don't go and fight, right? So I'm not a Kshatriya. So that's what he eradicated. And he made such a big social impact and spiritual impact, right? So we see that Rama is like the Maryada Purushottam. We see Krishna is Leela Purushottam. But actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a Prema Purushottam, right? He takes the highest and gives it to the lowest. Right, he has taken the highest love, and he's then given it, which the highest love, which is Prema of Krishna. Golokera Prema Dhana, and he's given it um, to the lowest people who don't even, like, we go on the streets, we just had New York Rath Yatra, people who don't even know who Krishna is and whatnot. He's given it to each and every person in this world. So that's why he is Sabha Avatar Sara Shiromani. He is the crown jewel of all of the incarnations of the Lord. And I just feel every single day we need to remind ourselves about our good fortune, right? That we got connected to the moment, we got connected to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I have a friend at work, and she, every day I see her post, and she posts that, oh Lord, thank you for the new day, right? Thank you for one more day to glorify you. And I was thinking, as Krishna conscious devotees, we should also have that mood about glorifying the Lord, and thank you for, for connecting me to you. Thank you for having that relationship with you, Krishna. So so that is a little bit about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then we're going to talk now about how does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu meet Ramananda Rai. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he starts his South India Yatra, and he basically first he's walking around the river, by the river, and then he goes to Kurma Kshetra, and in Kurma Kshetra he basically worships Lord Kurma, right, which is a Kurma incarnation, the total incarnation of the Lord. He worships him, and then he goes to Simhachala. And then after Simhachala, he crosses the banks of Godavari River, and he reaches a village called Vidyanagari. And that's where Ramananda Rai lives. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was on the banks of the Godavari River when Ramananda Rai comes to the banks. So Ramananda Rai is basically, like I mentioned, the governor of West Bengal. So he had a lot of servants, a lot of people who were his helpers. So he came in a palanquin. We Indians, we know what is palanquin. I'm sure a lot of people know. It's kind of a thing that you can sit in, and there are two people that hold the palanquin, and you can walk. They walk basically, and you're sitting in there. So Ramananda Rai comes in the palanquin to the banks of Godavari River, and he takes his bath. He does his morning duties, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is seeing him, and that's where both of them meet for the first time, right? And you can imagine the kind of emotions that they're going through, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's in North India, and Ramananda Rai is in South India. So they've never met. This is their first meeting. So, and like we discussed, he's Krishna and he's Arjuna, right? She's Arjuna Gopi. And like we know, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Radharani. He's in the mood of Radharani. So he is Radha, and then you also have Vishakha, who's Ramananda Rai. So they're meeting for the first time. So really, there's a lot of emotions that is going through them. And then so then they sit on the banks of the river, and then they start talking, and they used to talk for the whole night until the morning comes. And I was thinking about this, like when we meet our intimate friends, if you have sisters, right, or if you have your friends who you're meeting, especially it happens with the girls. I'm sure the boys also do this, is like, when we meet, we meet our old friends, or whoever, we probably have dinner or whatever, and then we sit talking, and it's like we talk throughout the night, and we hit the morning, and we're still talking, right? There's so much to share, so it's I was thinking about when they both are talking, it's kind of there's so much for them to share that the whole night is not enough, right? They go all the way till the morning, and then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has to go, and he has to chant and do his morning duties, and Ramananda Rai, because he was a governor, he has to go and do his duties. They would do that duties, and then again they would meet in the evening at the banks, and they would both start talking. Again, very important thing here is they were talking in a secluded place, right? They were talking, just both of them, they were both talking in a very secluded place. And why secluded, right? Why this is not spoken to everybody, what they speak, or what they're going to talk. Like I mentioned, the conjugal relationship, the relationship between a lover and his beloved, or husband and wife, is very intimate, is very private, right? And especially Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very sensitive to this. He was very sensitive to who the audience is. So when he used to go on the streets, and when he started, like I mentioned, the civil disobedience movement. And why civil disobedience? Because it was all Muslims ruling, right? India was ruled for 1,000 years by the Muslims before the British, and it was all Muslim leaders. They did not want people on the street going and chanting the holy name, chanting the name of Hindu gods. But when he did that, he didn't go outside and start telling about love of Krishna and Radharani and who is what and not. He would just give the Mahamantra, right? He was so sensitive. Now, if you know, when he met Rupa Goswami, the instructions to Rupa Goswami were completely different, and they were dependent on the level that Rupa Goswami was, right? So everybody he gave according to whatever that level is. And we know about Kurma Vipra. Do we know the story of Kurma Vipra, or we can just quickly talk about Kurma Vipra? Can you give me thumbs up, everybody? That way I know everybody is not sleeping and everybody can hear me. Okay. So everyone can still hear me?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay.
Mataji.
So we'll talk about Kurma Vipra, right? So who's Kurma Vipra Brahmin? So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is traveling, he visits a village, and there's a nice Brahmin there. His name is Kurma Vipra, and he basically is doing a lot of nice service to Krishna. He had the good fortune of meeting Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he washes his feet. He drinks that water. He gives that water to all of the his family members. He comes home and he serves him very nicely. He cooks food for him. He serves him, and he's so attached to him. To Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decides to leave, because that's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would do. He would go, he would walk a little bit, go to a village, preach there, stay for a little bit, and then travel again, right? And he would go on traveling. Even Tukaram, right? I come from Maharashtra, so I did not know for many years, but Tukaram Maharaj was also initiated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Maharashtra. And if you see the chants that all the Varkari community, right? They were kanti like us. And actually, my dad is a lawyer, and a couple of his juniors are from the Varkari Sampradaya, and they say Ramakrishna Hari, or they don't do the Mahamantra, but they do Ramakrishna Hari, Ramakrishna Hari. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as he went along, he initiated a lot of people and spread the holy movement, right? So when he goes to this Kurma Vipra's house, and Kurma Vipra is ready, he's like, I want to leave everybody and I want to go with you. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, no, you stay back and you be with your family and you remember me. And I remember one of the Matajis yesterday asked the question about what do we do, right? We have deities at home, we have kids at home. How do we do them, and how do we come to the temple? I think the answer that we got yesterday was, you focus on your family. You do your varnashrama. You do your duties. You feed your kids. You take care of your home deities. So that's exactly what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Kurma Brahmin. He said, you stay back and you serve your deities. You take care of your family and you stay back. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not bring Kurma Vipra Brahmin with him. So the point I'm trying to make is, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very sensitive on who, the level of the audience and what we are saying to them, right? And I think that's also a skill that we see, as we see successful people have, right? Like, we know what to say in front of, because sometimes there are people even at work or somewhere with like, no, 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 I don't think I can bring her to that meeting, or I don't think I can have that audience for her, because she doesn't have control on what she's going to say to who, right? Or he doesn't know what to say to who. So that is a skill that we all kind of build as we mature in life. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was like so very sensitive about this, right? On the street, just to Harinam. When he's preaching to Rupa Goswami or dealing with all of them, he has a different communication. When he's talking to Kurma Vipra, he gives a different instruction. And that's why, when this is very sensitive topic about conjugal love between Radha and Krishna, Ramananda Rai, who has a complete understanding of this, right? Um, he's Vishaka himself. So he's talking with her in privacy. All throughout the night, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai would sit the whole night, and in the morning, they would separate. They would go do their duties, right? So that's how they were meeting in a secluded place and talking, right? So let's see what they actually spoke about. And again, this is such a wide chapter, such a big topic, that I don't know if we can cover everything, but whatever we can cover. And I would really like to end by 8 o'clock and leave some time for questions or whatever. That way we all can get back to our families. So what is the ultimate goal, right? So first question that Mahaprabhu asks asked Ramananda Rai, he asked him, what is the ultimate goal, right? Of what is the ultimate goal of life? And then Ramananda Rai says, it's varnashram, right? And again, varnashram in a very high level, most of us are aware about. There are 4 varnas and 4 ashramas. So you have Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. And then you have ashramas. So from 0 to 25, you are a student. From 25 to 50, you are married and you have kids. You're taking care of your household activities. You are a grahastha. And then from 50 to 55, you are vanaprasthi, right? So you're trying to get away from all of the stuff, focusing more on Krishna. And then after 75, you kind of focus completely, right? You could take sannyas, or you would, be in that elderly zone where you're focusing, right? Not everybody's taking sannyas. So the life is divided, assuming we're going to live 100 years. Maybe we're not going to live 100 years, right? So a lot of the people on the call, like maybe enter, all of us might enter Vanaprastha when we are 40, because we might not get that 25 years at the end of the life to focus solely on Krishna, leaving everything, right? Renounced order. We might not have that. So he explained him what is the goal of life, and he said Varnashram is the ultimate, is the goal of life. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not very happy. He said, "Tell me more, tell me more." And then Ramananda Rai said, the essence is to offer the fruit of our activities to Krishna, right? So you go, you work, you have your 9 to 5 job or whatever job you're doing, you have a business. So you do your job, and then whatever money you're getting from that job, you are giving it to Krishna, right? So you're offering that fruit of activities to Krishna. Um, what is okay? So that happens, and then what do we say about? But still, he's not happy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not happy. So he says the third thing, more about than that is karma tyaga, like taking sannyas. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is still not happy. Why? Because there is no mention about bhakti in that, right? There's no mention of devotion service in that. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, "Tell me more." Okay. So first he said Varnashram, then he said offering the fruits, then he said, karma tyaga, become fully renunciate. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not happy. Then he goes to the fourth level, and he says the fourth level is really Jnana Mishra Bhakti, right? So what is Jnana Mishra Bhakti? That is, it's based on the philosophy and logic, right, is mixed with mental speculation. So sometimes you see, we have all this mental concoction about, I want to do this in this way, I want to do this in a different way. And we're not following a guru. We're just thinking, I know everything. We have all these mental concepts about, nahi, life mein aise hi karna hai. Like, we have to do this in life. We have to do devotional service for 5 minutes. We have to do yoga for 30 minutes, whatever. It's so much mentally, we have a lot of mental concoction, but we are doing some devotional service. That is Jnana Mishra Bhakti. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not happy with that. He says, "Tell me more." And then he says, "Is Jnana Shunya Bhakti." Means there is nothing that we are adding our 1 or 2%, right? It's basically bhakti which is devoid of mental speculation, right? We know the 9 processes: hearing, chanting, Vishnu Smaranam, and all, we know all of those. So it's sadhana bhakti, basically, right? So we have a faith in our guru's instructions, and we are following on the path of the guru, right? It is raga bhava, it's a rag bhakti. So we are taking instructions from the guru. We are repeating what the guru said. So when I'm speaking right now, I'm speaking from the scriptures, I'm speaking from what I've heard. I'm not adding my 1 or 2%, and I'm saying to you guys, "Oh, I think Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was thinking that. Oh, I think this is happening." So there is no mental concoction. It's just we are repeating. We can give our flavor to it. Like if I was to going to cook a sabzi, and say Satyabhama is going to cook the sabzi, we can make same bhendi, but it'll taste different, right? Because the flavor that I've added or the way I am presenting is completely different than some other devotee. So that's what basically is Jnana Shunya Bhakti, right? We are not putting any 1 or 2 cents. We always say, "Oh, that's my 5 cents there, that's my 10 cents, that's my 2 cents in the conversations." But we're not adding anything. We're just repeating. We're hearing from our spiritual master. We're following the instructions of spiritual master. We are following the 9 processes of devotional service, and following the sadhana bhakti, right? So still Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not happy with that, and he's like, "Tell me more, tell me more. What is more than that?" Then he talks about prema bhakti, right, which is the spontaneous devotional service for Krishna, greed for Krishna, right? So, and that this is what satisfies Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's satisfied at that point. But we have to understand what is that spontaneous devotional service, right? What is that complete like I was mentioning, becoming that madman, right? When we started studying, or when we came to spiritual path, we learned that, okay, I'm not the body, but we have to reach that platform about, I'm completely crazy about Krishna, or greedy for Krishna, right? That's prema bhakti. How do we reach prema bhakti? We should also understand that, and Ramananda explains this to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about the different conjugal relationships with Krishna. right? So there are five primary relationships with Krishna. The first one is a servant, right? A servant and a master. And I know in Indian countries or coming from Asia, wherever, we had helpers in our home, right? And when I go back, the people who took care of me growing up, the nurse who took care of me, the helpers who were there, like the maids and all. There's so much still love with them, right? I bring a gift for them every time. They're a part of our life. And if we also see a lot of our history, there's so much love between a master and a servant. It's not there anymore. I want to say it's becoming less and less because people are like, okay, I get more money somewhere, I'm going to go. But people literally served people for a lifetime. They stayed with people with the master and served them. So there's that love between master and a servant, and you can see so many Krishna's relationship, like his relationship with his driver Daruka, right? Such intimate, such good relationship. So you can have that servant and master relationship with Krishna. I was just thinking about the servant and master relationship, and there were people like the king's servants and whatnot. They would sometimes give sacrifices of their children, sometimes to protect the king, right? So there was there's we always like, okay, there's a servant relationship, it's okay, fine. But that is also such an intense relationship, right? We had Hanuman, who's always serving Krishna, and he's so much glorified, right? People start their day sometimes by reading Hanuman Chalisa. So just by serving Krishna, just by serving Ram, there's so much potency in that relationship. So the one relationship is the servant master. The other one is Sakya. So Sakya is a friend relationship, and we see Krishna had a lot of friends, right? He had Subala and Sudama and so many other friends, and these friends are at the same level, right, of Krishna. They're not like inferior and superior relationship. We're at the same level. Above that is Vatsalya. It's a parental love. And parental love is they're more caring for Krishna, right? They think, oh, if I don't feed Krishna, how will Krishna eat? If I don't take care of Krishna, who will protect Krishna? So that's that parental relationship. And the parents can, we can talk about parental relationship so much, but the parents in this forum, or if you have your relationship with your mother and father, you can understand how important and how intimate that relationship is. But above that is conjugal love, right? The love between husband and wife, or the love between lover and a beloved. And all the rasas from the bottom to the top are present in that relationship with the conjugal love. I think I was mentioning earlier on the call, or maybe somewhere else, but like, a wife and husband or a lover, they're friends. We say, oh yeah, my husband is my best friend, or my wife is my best friend. That person is also taking care of the other person. They're worried about, like a parent, like, did he eat, did she eat, is she safe? So that relationship is there. There is service, right? We're doing our service to the partner. There is, like I said, friends, dasya, all of the relationships are included. Just like you have ether, and we say earth, water, fire, ether, right? So ether is very subtle, right? It doesn't have a lot of things in it. But when it comes to earth, right, earth, fire, water, ether, when we reach that fifth element, earth has everything. It has the smell, and it has all of the qualities that are encompassed in the other uh, elements. Just like that, the conjugal love has all of the love that is included in the lower relationships. Now, there is a difference between that devotional service order also. So there's ordinary service that a lot of us, we have relationship with Krishna. But when you go to Vaikuntha, the relationship between Lakshmi and Narayan is different than the relationship of the queens of Dwarka and Krishna. And above that is a relationship of the gopis with Krishna and Vrindavan, right? So there are also levels in that conjugal love, like from Vaikuntha to Dwarka to Vrindavan. And that's why when this topic of Ramananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is really about that conjugal love, we can only glorify the gopis, admire that love, and try to become like, try to follow in their footsteps and try to love Krishna that much, right? That's the only thing that we can do. So I wanted to actually share my screen, but I don't know how I'm going to do that because I'm on a different machine. But I guess I'm just going to read from my screen over here, and then I can ask you questions. I guess this can be an interactive session. I would love everyone to unmute and answer questions. They're very easy questions. I can probably give you the hint. Whatever question that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking Ramananda Rai, when you're responding, if you can just say, add Krishna in it, you will get the right answer, right? So I'll give you an example. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, what is the best education to Ramananda Rai? And Ramananda Rai responds by saying devotion to Krishna, right? So that's what Ramananda Rai responded, is the best education. The devotion to Krishna is the best. So I'll ask the next question, and maybe you can, if you had the screen, I actually made it easier for you. I had the answers right there, so anybody could read. But because we cannot share the screen on the setting, I'm going to ask the question, and if you can unmute and answer, that would be good. So what is the greatest activity for a living entity? Can anyone answer?
Devotional service.
Yeah, to be the servant of Krishna. Yep, you're on the right
Yes.
path, Mataji. To be the servant of Krishna is the greatest activity of a living entity. So what is the supreme wealth?
To serve Krishna.
What was that, Prabhu?
To serve Krishna.
Love of Radha and Krishna is the supreme wealth, right? So once you have the love of Radha and Krishna, that's the supreme wealth. And I was contemplating on that, like, there are people who are, everybody's learning after wealth, right? Everybody's learning after wealth. And I'm into occult science. And I was, once we chant the Maha Mantra, the Guru planet, right, is become strong. The devotees have the Guru planet very strong. And that's why if you see any devotee, right? And what is the Guru planet really accountable for? He's accountable for happiness, right? If you have your 9 planets and they're all messed up, but your Guru planet is good, that means you will be happy in whatever situation you are. And that's what devotees are, right? Sometimes you see devotees, they might not have the greatest wealth, they might be suffering or whatever, but because they're chanting the Maha Mantra and the Guru planet is happy, they're always happy. They're always happy. They're always satisfied in whatever situation they are, right? Because they have this wealth of love of Radha and Krishna. That's why a devotee is always happy. All right. So next question: what is the greatest unhappiness?
Separation from Radha and Krishna.
Yeah, exactly. To not have the association. Actually, it's to not have the association of devotees of Krishna.
Devotees,
Yeah, there is Krishna in the answer, but devotees, yeah. But I also want others to answer. I see about 14 devotees here. So if everyone can please unmute and answer. You won't go wrong. You have to just put Krishna in that. What is the highest liberation?
Go to the Goloka.
The best jewel of all kinds of liberation is to develop love for Krishna. And just make sure the answer has a Krishna in it. Then you have the right answer. So, okay, what is the best song?
Krishna song.
Yeah, let's others also answer. So if you answered one, I would really recommend, somebody else answers. So Neeru Mataji, thank you. The song describing the pastimes of Radha and Krishna is the best song. What is the most auspicious for living entities? Who can answer? Make sure your answer has a Krishna in it.
Krishna Prema.
Yeah, the association of devotee of Krishna. There's a lot of emphasis, specified on the devotees and devotees of Krishna. What is the one thing we have to remember?
Always remember Krishna, never forgets Krishna.
Yeah, let others also answer, Neeru Mataji. Let everybody contribute. So Krishna's name, qualities, and pastimes. That's what we always should be remembering. What is the only thing to meditate upon?
Krishna. Lotus feet of Krishna.
Radha and Krishna. The lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. Thank you. Thank you. That was very perfect answer. Lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. What is the best place to live? This is easy. Should I pick on devotees? Anybody else can answer? What is the best place to live? This must be easy. That's
Last star, which is a Vrindavan.
Vrindavan, exactly. So Vrindavan. What is the best thing to be heard?
Holy
Krishna
name
Katha?
of Krishna.
Yeah. The description of the loving pastimes of Radha and Krishna.
Pastimes.
Yeah. What is the only thing which has to be glorified?
Krishna's guna and quality and a pastime and everything. All Krishna's.
Yeah, the loving pastimes of Radha Krishna. What is the only thing which has to be? Yeah, the name of Radha and Krishna is the one that has to be glorified. So I think we went through the question and answers, and there were a few more, but I just picked a few considering the time that we have. So I want to conclude this class. I wanted to read a few things from Chaitanya Charitamrita, but I don't think it'll leave us time, and I would not prefer going over time. But then, I'm just going to turn on the lights over here in this room. Give me 1 second.
Awesome.
Okay.
I like all that.
So, so I wanted to conclude. So, we studied about all of this, but my point is, what do we take away? What do we take away, right? So just I want to summarize the chapter first. So what we studied in this chapter was we glorified the gopis. We learned how gopis are the highest. They are ready to even give the dust off their feet. They don't care for themselves, and they just want to keep Krishna happy, right? That's the highest level of
Mataji,
love.
there is background sound behind.
Background noise is coming. Somebody else is it unmuted then. I don't have unmuted. Can you hear me okay, Mataji?
Yes.
Now we can hear now.
Okay. So I wanted to summarize the chapter before we end the class. So what did we study in this class? We studied about the gopis, and how their love is the highest love. They don't care about themselves. They only care about Krishna. We studied about the 5 different relationships with Krishna, because the aim of the whole Krishna consciousness is to develop that relationship with Krishna, right? We may not know a relationship with Krishna now. Few people may know the relationship of Krishna, what the relationship with Krishna is, but basically having understanding of those 5 relationships: the servant relationship, the friend relationship, the parental relationship, and the conjugal love. We studied about the link between. I'm also hearing background, so I'm not sure who is. Neeru Mataji, can you mute us? Yeah, I don't know if the background went with that. But then also we studied about the linkage between Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita, right? We studied about how we started by just thinking first that, I'm not this body, Dehino Asmin Yatha Dehi. Then we went on to, at the end, to become, the end of Chaitanya Charitamrita is teaching us to become crazily in love with Krishna, right? Becoming that madman. So Bhagavad Gita starts with, you're not this body. It ends with you abandon all the religions and just surrender unto me, 18.66. And Bhagavatam starts with you reject all the religions and get the essence, which is bhakti, which is 1.1.2. And Bhagavatam ends with 12.13.23, which is chanting of the holy names, right? Which will destroy all of our sinful reactions. And in Adi Leela, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu assures you that I will come, and I will come to teach you the process of chanting. And at the end, when in the Antalila 15.4, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has forgotten everything and entered that ecstatic love for Krishna. So really not being a soul and becoming really getting that ecstatic love is what we want to go to, right? We studied about that. We learned about Ramananda Rai, who Ramananda Rai is, he being Arjuna, being Arjuna Gopi, and being Vishakha. We studied about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what his position is. We discussed about their dialogues between them. And we also discussed about how this conjugal love is the highest love, and we cannot discuss that with everybody and anybody, right? Because especially with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's sensitivity on the audience, and making sure that if you're talking to somebody on the street, you're just giving Mahamantra. But he shared that he discussed this topic only with these few devotees. One of them was Ramananda Rai, right? And Ramananda Rai, he was an instrument of sharing that that love. What is that relationship between Radha and Krishna with all of us, right? So he served as that instrument, and that's how we learned. Okay, what is the relationship between Radha and Krishna? If you read Chaitanya Charitamrita or you read the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, you'll find more details about their dealings, which is beyond our comprehension, beyond our understanding. So if it is beyond our understanding, then what do we do, right? What do we do? What do we have in our hand right now? What do we have in our hand is by chant. What all we could do is chant the holy names, right? And in that context, I remember a story of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So one time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he had to use the restroom. He went up and he came back. So when he came back, he was biting his tongue, he was biting his tongue. And there was a small boy. His name was Gopal. And Gopal comes to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he asks, like, why are you biting your tongue, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He said, I just used, I had to go, I was in a dirty place, and my tongue won't stop chanting, right? My tongue won't stop chanting. So my tongue kept on chanting the holy names. And so I was biting it. So it's so dirty. And how do I chant Krishna's name there? So the Gopal boy asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says, okay, but what if you're going to leave your body in a dirty place, right? People can die in a toilet. People can die anywhere. Then what? And then Mahaprabhu, he smiled and he said, Gopal, you have become my guru today. You've taught me something very nice, right? You have taught me that I could leave my body in a dirty place and it's okay to chant the names. Of course, we're not taking our beats there, but anything can happen to us in a dirty place. So we can, the biggest thing that we've got in our hands and the biggest thing that we could do is chant the holy name, because at the end of the day, when you're chanting, you're bringing Radha and Krishna together, right? And that's what all the gopis are doing. They're bringing Radha and Krishna together. And that's what we could do. We can do our rounds very sincerely, and that's how we can advance in Krishna consciousness. That's I feel the essence of the entire chapter. And we talk about theology, right? Which is when we talk about theology, we talk about a devotee who cries. He's very advanced, right? That's a very advanced theology. Now, God crying for devotees, that's very confidential, right? But what is when God becomes a devotee, which is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when God becomes a devotee, he teaches us how to love him, and that is really how to love him, how to reach him. That's what he teaches. And that's really the most advanced theology that we have. And actually, we're so fortunate to have that understanding, right? From Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's teaching us how to really love God, how to reach to him, right? And he's given us the path. The most important thing is chanting the holy name. So, which is so powerful, which if we just follow that, chanting the holy name sincerely every morning, whenever we can advance in this path. So with that, I want to end. I know we are 4 minutes over, but any questions or comments on what we discussed?
Hare Krishna, Gokul, Priya Mataji. Very nicely explained. I was listening each word from you. Very nice, Mataji. I just wanted to share, you mentioned Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Pandharpur also, right? But Tukaram Maharaj was there and he got Diksha from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he gave his Hare Krishna Mahamantra only 16 syllables. So the people in his village, they were saying, oh, it's so long, that one.
Yeah.
So that's why Tukaram Maharaj made it like Rama Krishna Hare. Same meaning, like engage us in that devotional service. One point that, and I like that one. You mentioned about when our guru is very powerful, then we don't have to worry. And even we are in miseries or we are suffering, we don't get that much like tinge of that. So same thing, like I was just meditating because we are in this ISKCON and we have our spiritual masters and we are totally surrendered to them. And even though, because we are in Grihastashram, every ashram, right? Everybody is suffering, but we don't get tinge, right? Like umbrella in the rain, we are always protecting ourselves. So our guru is always protecting. So guru, I was just connecting both. Always we say na, guru powerful hai to kuch nahi hoga, sab theek hi rahega. Yes, yeah, very nice, Mataji. Very nice class. Really liked it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your kind words, Mataji. Yeah, because I like, I'm also certified Vastu person, and when I study about astrology, I'm just very interested in that. And to a point where when the Guru planet is strong, we always are happy. The also thing is that's what philosophy is also, right? Oh, Krishna kept me in this condition. Okay, this happened to me. It's for my good. What is we're trying to see what is good in the situation. Like, oh, I got this misery, maybe Krishna wants me to focus on that. So you see every devotee who is sincere, who's chanting well, is always happy. And really
Yep.
doesn't matter, wealth doesn't matter, what doesn't matter. You see some, like, sometimes if you from external side you see, and they say, oh no, I went to their house, they didn't have furniture, they didn't have this, but they're so happy. You're not happy,
Yep.
right? You have so much, you're doing so well, but still you're so miserable. And a devotee who might not have anything, but still they're so happy. And that's the power of a holy name, that's the power of Guru. And that's a blessing I think we have, right? Any situation devotees
Fortunate.
are happy. Yeah, we're very fortunate to have them.
Very, very fortunate. Okay. Haribol Mataji.
Haribol. Any other comments, questions? Okay, so looks like everything was pretty clear. And there are no questions. It was such an advanced topic.
Has raised the hand.
Say that, Mataji.
Amrutanand Prabhu has raised
Oh,
his hand.
sorry, I cannot. I'm on the phone, Prabhu. I'm so sorry, I couldn't see. Go ahead, Prabhuji.
Hey, Krishna Mataji, please
Hare
accept my
Krishna.
humble obeisance. All praise to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for a nice class. There is a experience on the Varkari people, and I have a question. So the first thing is the power of the holy name. We listen to it, we hear it, logically we can understand it, but when it actually happens, the feeling, then we actually know the importance of the holy name. So this happened several years ago in Pune. I was visiting India, and we were stuck in a India traffic is always jammed. So we were in my sister, the driver, and my mom. We were in the car, windows rolled up because it's too hot and grimy. So at a distance, we heard the sound of kirtan, the same thing what you're doing, the Varkaris. And Varkaris from all over Maharashtra, they go by foot. That is their yatra, pada yatra, which they do. They have two bullocks with Vitobas and Rukmanis, deities, and they go singing all the way, doing kirtan. So I said, kirtan oil, let's see. And I left my wallet and everything in the car because jumping and all, it can fall off. And I thought I'll just accompany them for a few, maybe just a short distance. But then they sing with so much sincerity, with all their traditional instrument, that it was many miles. And when I realized that, oof, it's so far off, then I had to take a rickshaw and said, I'll pay you when I get home, things like that. So this is what kirtan does. It makes you forget everything. But the idea is if you get absorbed, and reflecting back on this experience, that absorption comes with a pure devotee. When a pure devotee is calling out to Krishna, that's when the transformation of our consciousness can happen. So that was one. My question, Mataji, is like yesterday, Devkinandan Prabhu mentioned, and you again revised it, that as Grastis, our first responsibility is to our family, especially in terms of prioritizing time vis-a-vis, let's say, deity seva in the temple or whatever, some temple seva, cooking or whatever. So the first thing is obviously the family. But there is a rider on this that provided we look at the family as Krishna's family, that should be our consciousness, Krishna's family. So if we have our consciousness that this is Krishna's family, then the very act of providing for them, taking care of them, becomes an act of devotional service. Now we can try to practice this. So the question is, all of us, Mataji, are conditioned. And what may happen is, looking at this instruction of Prabhupada as well as so many gurus that, take care of your family, how can one avoid hiding behind this? And, even though I have time, because of my inertia or whatever it is that, we'll drive early morning and go to the temple and all. No, I need to take care of my family. That is also devotional service. So how do we be true to ourselves? That's what I, wanted to
That's a very
understand,
good
if you have
question,
some
Prabhuji.
thoughts.
Yeah, that is a very good question. And in the beginning you commented about the pure devotee, and I always feel, I so much agree with what you're saying. The other day I went to Bhakti Center and Radhana Swami was doing kirtan, and I just couldn't help. We were just dancing and dancing, sweating from top to bottom. So you just feel that presence. So we see a name, some sannyasi or somebody empowered soul comes, and when they chant, you just feel like, what am I doing? I should just be doing this, right? You are just so much engaged in the kirtan. So I completely agree with you. Like, really the power comes when there is an elevated soul with you. And then coming to your question about the grahastha life, right? And all these dilemmas we have: should I go? Should I not go to the temple? I have to go into work tomorrow. My kids have to do this. What do I do? But I also want to go because I want to be with, go and do that service. So really, what I would say is give preference to you also, Prabhu, like you as a person. And of course, you want to give preference to your family. But if you don't take care of yourself, then you cannot take care of your family. So say you have a morning meeting, whatever, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and you want to go to the temple for a program. And if you're going to sleep late, you're not going to be good. I think at the end of the day, you will feel like, why did I go? Why did I do this? Rather, I would have stayed back, right? You're going to repent that. Unless your body is going, you're super healthy and you can go with less number of hours of sleep and everything. But I would say that very important is to also take care of your body and yourself, because Krishna is residing inside you as well, right? So at least have seen from my personal experience, if my water jar is not filled, or I don't have that oxygen mask, I cannot take care of my family. I could be upset with them for no reason at all. Like, things can happen which I don't want to, you know um, I'll not be able to do my duties best if I don't take care of myself. So self-care, I feel, is very, very important, Prabhu. So if you can, there are a few devotees I've seen, and I appreciate their energy. They are here and they're there and they're doing so many different things. But I think one of the very important thing is to know yourself, right? Like what works for you, what doesn't work for you. I know I cannot, I mean, me personally cannot manage with less sleep. It takes me a few days to catch up. I can go to bed, I can wake up at 2 a.m. I don't care, but I have to sleep early, right? 8, 9 o'clock. So that's me. Somebody else could be something different. So really giving a priority to yourself, your family, maybe it's your job, whatever. Because at the end of the day also, right? So you lose your job, whatever happens, and you impact your work, you impact anything, and you come to the temple, you're not going to be able to serve or the devotees of Krishna that well. You'll be dependent on the temple, right? And we don't want that. We want you to be doing well and then go with your extra energy or whatever and do service at the temple, right? It could be 1 hour a week, it could be 10 hours a week, whatever works for you. But really, I feel prioritizing yourself, your health, your work, your family, whatever is important is more important than doing that. And I'll tell you an example. For me, I have a child and she'll be 5 soon, but I had to sit with her in Sunday school. And because I was nursing and whatnot, I didn't do service for a few years and I wanted to go back. And it was just last 6 months left. And I was like, how many days I'm going to sit in the class with her? I just want to go and do service. And I was talking with my mentor and he was like, she's not going to be a kid again. Right. So, right. It's okay if you cannot go and do deity service right now. Just be with her in Sunday school, attend Sunday school with her. And you can do this after 6 months. So I know at times we get tempted and we want to, we're so attracted to Krishna that we want to leave something and go and do the service. But it's best to really focus on our duties at this point, as grahasthas. And when the time allows, when things work out, do that. But of course, don't delay it to a point that, you never do it. Prioritize that also. But if you had to pick between the two, take care of your health first, Prabhu, is what I would suggest.
Agreed. But the thing is, of course, self-care, family care, professional care, that is very, very important. You can't neglect it for DT service or temple service. That is agreed. But the thing is that sometimes we may have a tendency to hide behind it. So even if when I have time available, because of my inertia, my laziness, or oh, it's a Saturday, and who'll get up at 2 in the morning? I live far off, and I need to come and do DT service. So when the opportunity comes up over there, then we can look at personal care or family care as an excuse to not have that, and we'll justify saying that, oh, personal care is necessary. So how do we avoid this kind of a duplicity? Because I know I go through that. And there is the importance, but not use the importance as an excuse to stay behind. So how do we remain vigilant?
Yeah, so I get you. So what you're trying to say, how do we don't hide behind these excuses, right? So what I do to do is, I always think about kitna time bacha hai. When I am like thinking, how much time do I have? I don't know. We don't know, right? So yeah, I know there's a Sunday free available. Nothing is there, and I could go and do the service, but I just want to take it easy because I know I'm going to have a very busy week. Just think about how much time you have, how many Sundays you're going to have. Like, I think, and that puts you, takes you out, out of your, take it easy. Why we're taking it easy? Because we think we have time. मेरे पास time है. मैं कभी बाद में कर सकता हूँ, right? But now when you know, I don't know what can happen, right? Anytime. When you keep on reminding yourself that, which we tend to forget, we do remember, we have that Shmashan Vairagya, something happens. But when we keep on reminding ourselves that really helps.
Good point, I think. Good point, Mataji. Urgency.
Yeah, I was going to also give you an analogy. Like, even at work, right? What happens is you get very busy with work and everything, and maybe you block off 2 hours on Friday afternoon that I want to actually go in and learn this new skill, right? And whatnot. But weeks after weeks, you keep on not doing that, right? But when you think, if they want to lay me off or something's going to happen, this skill is going to help me, right? When you tell yourself that Friday morning, then whenever you remind, at least for me, you will go in and 2 hours you'll spend on improving yourself. And the same thing is with devotional service. When we remind ourselves, itna time hai, I don't know, anything can happen. I can go like this, and I will not be able to take anything with me. This is the only thing I'm going to take. I think our mind kind of uses logic and kind of pushes us there.
Very nice. Thanks, Mataji. Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Okay. Are there any other question or comments? Okay. Thank you so much for engaging in service. I'll pass it on to Simeshwar Prabhu to wrap it up. Simeshwar Prabhu, are you there?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for a wonderful class and wonderful discussions, and covered nicely about the important aspects of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching and teachings of Lord Chaitanya. And this chapter is completely titled as The Perfection of the Supreme. So, we'll be continuing this for a couple of more days. That will be also going with the summary of discussions between Prakashananda Saraswati, Sarma Bhattacharya, Ramananda Rai, Srirupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, like a synopsis of, and then we'll go through so that we can take up each discussions and understand that what is the essence, what is the results, outcome of that conversation. That's what is essentially we need to understand. So that will be coming, and also, that'll be next week, and then we'll be picking up another topic. And again, it's just a wonderful section, this teachings of Lord Chaitanya. This is what it is we need to focus more. This gives us the complete understanding of Krishna consciousness, or International Society for Krishna Consciousness. This is the mission that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is revealing through this teaching. The mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the mission of ISKCON, the understanding and the realization of the devotees. And this is a powerful class. That's why we took this and we are getting closer to it. So thank you so much for everybody participating, and we'll be continuing this for next week as well, as a summary study of teachings of Chaitanya, each section. Okay, thank you so much. Anything else anybody else would like to add? And in fact, today is a very auspicious day and special day. Today is a Panihati festival, and this is the Panihati festival. Chidadagi festival is happened when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu was there, which was by the Raghunath Das Goswami. It is a very beautiful pastime, and the mercy, how one can attain the mercy of the Lord just by surrendering, just by in the service, mode of service. Lord directly present before such devotees and shower the mercy upon devotees, their willingness to serve the devotees and other communities. So that represents the the Chidadagi festival at Panihati. And probably if time permits, tomorrow sometime we'll discuss more on that. It's 8:22. So yeah, today is a very auspicious day as well. And this Saturday is Snana Yatra, the appearance day of Lord Jagannath. And this is a very, very auspicious day. We are having wonderful festivities at the temple. Snana Yatra starts at 5 p.m. and then Abhishek and Snani is 5:30 to 6:30. Then we'll have wonderful Katha. Mukunda Datta Prabhu is coming. And in fact, tomorrow Mukunda Datta Prabhu is going to speak on this topic. Okay? So this
He's
is the...
going to do it, Prabhu, he's going to, tomorrow he's coming to our home for the whole day.
Yeah, Prabhuji told me that. Yeah, so Mukunda Datta Prabhu is going to speak, and then after, that's Thursday, and then Friday we'll have continue the class, and then Saturday is the Snana Yatra. Mukunda Datta Prabhu will be also there on Snana Yatra day and Sunday as well. So everybody can please tune in. Mukunda Datta Prabhu is a disciple of Srila Prabhupada and a very nice devotee, wonderful devotee, lives in Vrindavan, traveling now, touring US. Thank you so much. Your devotees,
Prabhu?
anything else? Yeah.
Mukunda Datta Prabhu will also be doing a class tomorrow on the Jersey City
tomorrow evening as well.
On relationship management.
Yeah, I heard that. Yes. Yeah, very good. Okay, wonderful. Okay, if nothing else, let's conclude. Don't forget, and we have booked many buses to Atlantic City Rath Yatra, and then we discussed about parking or the fare. Everybody can get on the bus and we can go like everybody together and come back together. It's a summer and wonderful time, and as if like we are going to Atlantic City with everybody like a family. We can all have together, kirpan, prasadam, fun things, and 2 hours, 4 hours. So nice. So everybody please register for it. Don't miss it. And there's a wonderful opportunity all weekend together. At least going for a wonderful Rath Yatra, and also encourage others, your friends, families, neighbors. Just $10 and everybody can go together on the Atlantic City. Please register, don't forget it. Okay, thank you so much, and let's conclude today's session. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhubhyevacha padidana pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananda Gaudi Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Gauri Hari Hari.
Thank you, Gokul.
Thank you.